All right. Day 18. Easy one today. How deep is this pool? All right. How deep is this pool? So, let's break this down a little bit. Deep. It's a measure of distance relative to where you're standing. This pool means usually standing / looking directly at it. On / at it. And then pool. You know, Olympic pool, YMCA pool, backyard pool. The thing about backyard pools, for example, is that you have above ground pools and then you also have below ground pools. And measuring these might be a little bit different. For example, with above ground pools, you might have measure the pool sides. But for below ground pools, can't be done. Why? Because you can't see sides from the outside. So, let's see. What are some problems that we have when it comes to answering questions like this? For pools, so what problems do we have with answering this question? Well, the first, if pool is below ground, there may not no labels around pool. There may be labels, but inaccurate. So, what else? Could be dark out. Or, pools are indoors. But even then, we'll just assume they're outside for now. Pools below ground, no labels around it. Labels are inaccurate. Could be dark outside. There could also be, what do you call it? No, what's the word? Oh, no measuring device. Yardstick. Labels. What else is there to measure stuff with? Okay, we'll cancel that. Let's see, I'm trying to think problems with answering this question. So we'll just say the pool is underground. Alright, we'll leave it at that. Those are the problems with this question. So, how can we measure without measure tools? My immediate thought is comparison. Example. Give me a second. Example. A baseball bat is a certain length. Backyard is a certain length. If you lay baseball bats along the length of yard, you will get backyard length. So you have one thing, you have one thing that's this long, another thing that's this long, and you want to flip or compare to find out true length. So, how do we apply this to this question? How deep is this pool? Well, I think since we won't have measure tools, or we don't trust the accuracy, I know it's kind of funny, we can ask ourselves, what tools do we have on a pool to use as comparison measure tools? Got a short list of that. We have pool noodles. We have water toys. We have water slides. We have people. Of varying heights. But more importantly, we have technology. Ding, ding, ding. And if we use technology, for example, phone, camera, AR, measure tool, then maybe we can measure one object and then place multiple objects into a pool, and then add up lengths to get height. Boom. Okay, so this is an idea that I want to try out. Let's go to the next page. All right, so if we have phone, measure, object, comparison, feature. That's what I think we'll be doing. Phone, measure, app, object comparison feature. So the idea here is that you can measure an existing object using the AR measure app, and then overlay those existing checks stacked to find desired new unmeasured objects dimensions. So you can measure the existing object using the AR Measure app and overlay the existing object stacked to find and the desired new unmeasured object's dimensions. So how would this look in like a use case? For example, for how deep is this pool? So if you ask yourself, how deep is this pool? Okay, you ask yourself the question. You could open Measure app. After you open the Measure app, you can measure point to point on reference object. So in this case, it'd be like a what do you call it? 5 foot long pool noodle suited That's what this does. All right. Yeah, sorry. So open the Measure app. How deep is this pool? You open the Measure app. Place pool noodle flat. You then set point A in camera. Set point B in camera. Then the app will measure the length. Okay, so it's after it's measured the length. You can store this information. Or you can also use as AR reference. And I'm going to go with this use as AR reference option, obviously. This is a digital thing happening. My bad. So this needs to be in a box. A diagonal box. I always forget. Store info. It's an option you can choose, or use AR reference is something you can do. This is also, I guess. No, that's something you do with your finger. These are both done using finger tap. App will measure the length, store the info, use AR reference. Measure the length plus display length. Okay, so uses AR reference. You tap user AR reference. Tap. After you've tapped it, let's see, uses AR reference. New object, so pool noodle displayed in AR over what is being shown in camera. Okay. So after this is being displayed in camera, what you want to do is align, basically with your hand, align pool noodle to top of pool. Something you will do. And then after that, you want to copy plus paste pool noodles the height of the pool. This can either be done with a drag plus drop, touch feature, or this can be done with a, what do you call it? Oh, I'm catching the paper here, that's why it's curling. Or this can be done automatically generated. And then the pool predicted height displayed will be displayed. So, something like that, a little bit long, but basically, you ask the question, open your measure app, measure point to point on the reference object, just like the current measure app does. Place the pool in the pool noodle flat. Oh, that's what this does, sorry. You place the pool noodle flat, set point A in the camera using your finger, set point B in the camera using your finger. The app will measure the measure the length and display it. You can either store the info or use as an AR reference. We want to use the AR reference. You tap it, pool noodle will be displayed as like an overlay, free floating, over what is being shown as camera. And you can align pool noodle to the top of the pool. And then you can copy and paste noodles, the height of the pool. Either automatic or drag and drop. Maybe also a tap system. And then the predicted pool height will be displayed. So let's see, what do we want to sketch out? Alright. What I want to do is, we already know what the measure app looks like in the iPhone. So what I want to do is have the display length shown. And then I want to have the pool noodle displayed. Well, I want to align the pool noodle to the pool, and then have the predicted height put together. So let's see. Apple measure the length or display length. Let's see. Classic idea for this would be, pool noodle, and then it's like 5 feet long. It's 5-foot pool noodle. Then we have 2 buttons, and then one says store info, and the other one says use in AR. So how would that look? A little bit more well put together? Maybe something like this. You have pool noodle, and it says something like 5 feet long. Then below that, 2 buttons. Save or using AR. Maybe instead of using AR and save, we go with like, well, I like save, or, save for later. But for using AR, this needs to be done somewhere else. We could just have like AR. We could have AR and then like have camera icon. Maybe something like this to show that you're like placing it in a box. Maybe you have a cube. Maybe that cube right there sits, where would that cube sit? Maybe it sits on a table, something like that. Or you have your cube that says AR. And I kind of like this one. This one seems, this range one seems a lot more relevant, because the AR one is cute, but like, but this also kind of makes sense putting it on a table. Maybe something like that, yeah. So what if we do like cube face says AR, or maybe it's a dashed cube. And both on a table. But yeah, either way, does the dashed idea work more? I kind of like the idea of that, because then it's like it's there, but it's not, and it takes its space. Let's go with that one. That one sounds fun. This one is nice and minimal, but the cube could also be done in a vector. Really easy to do. So let's see. How deep is the pool? Well, let's break it down in the sketches. So I'm going to redraw this last one. What did I call that? How do I have it written down? App will measure the length plus display length plus options. All right, so you got your pool noodle, and then here or it could be like this. Either way, it says 5 feet long. And then we have let's do save with a plus icon. So the plus is like, that's a plus. Plus is equal to add to list or so. Add to the list or something. And then here we have, well, it's a wide button, the dotted cube. It says AR on it, and there you go. And if you want to break it down farther, since I drew it horribly there, there you go. Okay. Object. Table. Just in case you need to explain all the steps. Object in AR, and the thing in the table. Okay, so after that, you have, what do we have? Align the pool noodle to the top of the pool. So I'll do this last one in 2 steps since I took up so much room there. Maybe it'll take even longer, who knows. You have your phone screen, you know, your usual speaker, home button. Then you have the back corner of the pool. Maybe some grass surrounding it. Grass, pool, wall. Okay, clearly it's empty. Maybe it's empty, maybe it's not. Maybe the software is good enough. Side, patio, walkway. Slash deck. Okay, and then here, what you can do is you can overlay overlaid pool noodles. Overlaid pool noodles. Have it so. Tap screen to add noodle. Okay. So scan your pool noodle. You're still in your camera app. You can tap and you have it overlaid to add the pool noodle. And then of course, noodle stays in place because of good AR quality. Which is important. Then the last page, pool predicted height will be displayed. Do I need to waste an entire piece of paper on that? No, I can break it off into here. Noodle stays in place, of course. We'll stick it up here in this corner. You have your phone screen. And then you have, I had to swing my hand around there. Pop-up or modal window. Predicted object length 10 feet. Divide that with a line. Then we'll have in the background, obviously, your pool. Grass, etc. Which the digital displays of the noodles are there, but over this is this awesome pop-up. It basically makes it so that you can't see through predict object length. So this is basically the pop-up / modal window that opens above finished measure comparison overlay. And then that probably means that in order to get there, we need to have a done button. So here in the bottom, bottom left, bottom right, maybe we have a calculate button. Fat green. Okay, cool. So, boom, boom, boom. Awesome. All right, yeah. So anyway, fun little short design sprint this week, today, on answering the question, how deep is this pool? This has been James from James Explains, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.